പ്രിയപ്പെട്ട വിദ്യാർത്ഥികളെ, ഈ വർഷം SSLC എക്സാമിനേഷൻ എഴുതാൻ പോകുന്ന എല്ലാ വിദ്യാർത്ഥികൾക്കും ഈ കഴിഞ്ഞ മോഡൽ എക്സാമിൻ്റെ സോൾവ്ഡ് പേപ്പർ കേൾക്കാനുള്ളൊരു അവസരമാണ്. അതിൻ്റെ കൃത്യമായ ആൻസർ മോണിറ്ററിൽ നോക്കാതെ തന്നെ കേട്ടിരുന്നാൽ കൃത്യമായി പഠിക്കാനുള്ളൊരു അവസരം കൂടിയാണ്. എല്ലാവരും ഇതിലേക്ക് സ്വാഗതം ചെയ്യാണ്. ആദ്യമായിട്ട് 5 മാർക്ക്, ഓരോ മാർക്കിലുള്ള മൾട്ടിപ്പിൾ ചോയ്സ് ക്വസ്റ്റ്യനാണ്. ടോട്ടൽ 80 മാർക്സ് ആണ്. പാർട്ട് എയിലെ ഒന്നാമത്തെ ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ, ദി ഫിസിക്കൽ ഡിവിഷൻ നോൺ ആസ് ദി സ്റ്റോർ ഹൗസ് ഓഫ് മിനറൽസ്. ആൻസർ, പെനിൻസുലാർ പ്ലാറ്റ്യൂ. Second question, which is the last popular struggle organized by Gandhiji in India? Answer, Quit India movement. Which among the following activities reflect civil consciousness? Conservation of nature. The leading rubber producing state in India, Kerala. Which among the following is the tax imposed by local self-government? Provisional tax. Sixth question, A, B എന്നീ 2 കോളങ്ങൾ കൊടുത്തിട്ട് മാച്ച് ചെയ്യാൻ വേണ്ടിയിട്ടാണ്. ആൻസറാണ് വിശ്വഭാരതി യൂണിവേഴ്സിറ്റി രവീന്ദ്രനാഥ് ടാഗോർ, ജാമിയ മിലിയ ഇസ്ലാമിയ MA അൻസാരി, കേരള കലാമണ്ഡലം വള്ളത്തോൾ നാരായണ മേനോൻ, വാർധ എഡ്യൂക്കേഷൻ മഹാത്മാഗാന്ധി. 7th ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ, ഫാക്ടേഴ്സ് റിക്വയർഡ് ഫോർ കൾട്ടിവേഷൻ ഓഫ് റൈസ്. അതിൽ പോയിന്റുകൾ എഴുതേണ്ടത് സൈഡിൽ മാർക്ക് കൊടുത്താണ്. 3 മാർക്കാണ്. 3 പോയിൻ്റ് ആവശ്യമുള്ള, എന്നാൽ മുഴുവൻ പോയിന്റുകളും പറയുന്നുണ്ട്. ക്രോപ്പ് സീസൺ, ഖാരിഫ്, റൈസ് ദി സ്റ്റാപ്പിൾ ഫുഡ് ക്രോപ്പ് ഓഫ് ഇന്ത്യ. സോയിൽ, alluvial soil is most suitable for rice cultivation. Temperature requires above 24 degrees Celsius. Rainfall more than 150 centimeter. Rice is being cultivated in regions with less rainfall with the aid of irrigation. Rice is mostly cultivated in river basins and coastal plains. Rice is also cultivated by making terrace along the slopes of Sslc. 8th question, role of the media in the promotion of civic consciousness. Answer, media plays an important role in the formulation of civic consciousness. Print and electronic media influences the society tremendously. News and information reach the masses through the media. Judicious and objective information lead to the formulation of creative ideas. Media should be independent and imperial. The formation from the media should be evaluated critically. 9th question, observation a method of study in sociology. Observation is a method by which whatever is seen, heard and experienced is recorded truthfully. It is more relevant where methods like interview are not practically feasible. Such data collected directly helps in accurate assessments. There are 2 types of observation. First one, participant observation, and second, non-participant observation. 10th question, characteristics of winter season or cold weather season in India. India experiences winter when the position of the sun is over the southern hemisphere. Most places in India experience intense fog and snowfall occur in the valleys of the Himalayas during the season. The months of December, January and February experienced cold weather in India. During the cold weather season, days are generally warm and nights are severely cold in North India. Snowfall is a common phenomenon in the hill stations like Manali and Shimla. 11th question, budget and distinguish between surplus budget and deficit budget. Budget is the financial statement showing the expected income and expenditure of government during a financial year. In India, financial year is from April 1st to March 31st. Surplus budget, when income is more than expenditure, it is called surplus budget. Deficit budget, when expenditure is more than income, it is called deficit budget. Next, 12th question, role of Subhash Chandra Bose in the national movement in India. ഇത് 4 മാർക്കാണ്. Subhash Chandra Bose expressed his difference of opinion on Gandhian ideas of struggle. Quitting the Congress, he formed a political party called Forward Bloc. He took the charge of the Indian National Army, INA, formed by Rash Behari Bose to attain freedom for India. He formed a provisional government for free India in Singapore with the aim of forcing the British to quit India. The Indian National Army had a women wing called the Jhansi Regiment. Captain Lakshmi, a Keralite, was in charge of this regiment. With the support of the Japanese army, the Indian National Army marched to the east-west border of India and hoisted Indian flag in Imphal. 13th question. Compensations for consumer disputes obtained through consumer court. Replacing the product. Repayment of cash paid or excess amount appropriated. Monetary compensation for the loss. Direction to rectify the defects in services. Stopping harmful trade practices. Prohibition of the sale of harmful food items. Reimbursement of the expenses incurred in lodging the complaints. Next, 14th question. Resistance of Keralavarma Palshiraja against the British in Malabar. Keralavarma Palshiraja of Kottayam royal family led the resistance against the British in Malabar. The British promised Palshi the right to collect tax from Kottayam region as a reward for helping them in the wars against Mysore. The British refused to keep their premise after the triumph in the battle. Moreover, the British claimed their dominance over Wayanad. Palshiraja organized the people and fought against the British. He unleashed the guerrilla war against the British with the help of the Champan Pokar, Kaideri Ambunayar, Edachana Kungan Nayar and Talakal Chandu, the leader of the Kuruchias in the fight against the British. He was asserted his life on 30th November 1805. Next part B ആണ്. 15th question map ആയിരുന്നു. ഇനി 16th question. പെർമനന്റ് ലാൻഡ് റവന്യൂ സെറ്റിൽമെൻറ്റ്. ഇനി 3 ഫീച്ചേഴ്സ് ആണ്. അതിന് 3 മാർക്കാണ് കൂടുതൽ കൊടുത്തിട്ടുണ്ട്. ഇംപ്ലിമെൻറ്റഡ് ഇൻ ബംഗാൾ, ബീഹാർ ആൻഡ് ഒറീസ. ലോർഡ് കോൺവാലിസ്, ബ്രിട്ടീഷ് ഗവർണർ ജനറൽ, ഇൻട്രൊഡ്യൂസ്ഡ് ദിസ് സിസ്റ്റം. In the permanent land revenue settlement, the tax was collected by zamindars. Zamindar was the owner of the entire land where he had the jurisdiction to collect tax. While the zamindars became the owners of the land, the actual farmers became tenants. Farmers were to pay up to 60% of the yield as tax. Tax was to be paid even at the time of poor yield. The tax was to be paid in cash strictly before the cut-off date. Before introducing this system, tax could be paid in kind. മറ്റൊരു ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ കൂടി അതിനകത്തുണ്ട്, ചോയ്സ് ആണ്. രണ്ടാമത്തെ ബി പാർട്ടിൽ എല്ലാ ചോദ്യങ്ങൾക്കും മറ്റൊരു ചോയ്സ് കൂടി നിങ്ങൾക്ക് നൽകിയിട്ടുണ്ട്. ഇൻ്റഗ്രേഷൻ ഓഫ് പ്രിൻസിലി സ്റ്റേറ്റ്സ് ഇൻ ഇൻഡിപെൻഡൻറ്റ് ഇന്ത്യ. ദി ഇൻ്റഗ്രേഷൻ വാസ് റിയലി എ ഹെർക്കുലിൻ ടാസ്ക് ആൻഡ് സർദാർ വല്ലഭായ് പട്ടേൽ വാസ് ദി യൂണിയൻ മിനിസ്റ്റർ entrusted with this mission. He appointed V.P. Menon, a Keralite, a secretary of the Department of States. Patel and V.P. Menon prepared an instrument of accession which stipulated that the princely states had to transfer their control over defense, external affairs and information and communication to the government of India. Following the diplomacy of the government and popular protest, majority of the princely states signed the instrument of accession and joined Indian Union. But some states such as Hyderabad, Kashmir and Junagadh resented. Finally, they were also integrated into the Indian Union through conciliation talks and military interventions. 17th question. Local wins. Local wins are wins whose effects are limited to a relatively smaller areas. Formed as a result of the local pressure differences, these winds are weak. Such winds exist in different parts of the world in different names. Local winds in India: Lu, mango showers, Kalbaisaki, spring season. മറ്റൊരു ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ ആണ്, വേറെ ചോയ്സ് കൂടി നിങ്ങൾക്ക് നൽകിയത് സ്പ്രിംഗ് സീസൺ. The northern hemisphere generally experiences spring season between 21st March and 21st June. Spring is the season of transition from winter to summer. Features are The plant sprouts, mango tree blooms, jackfruit trees bearing buds. The 18th question. Causes that led to the first war of Indian independence or the revolt of 1857. Miseries of farmers, poverty of the craftsmen, dissatisfaction of kings, miseries of the sepoys. മറ്റൊരു ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ കൂടി ചോയ്സ് ആയിട്ടുണ്ട്. റെക്കമെൻഡേഷൻസ് ഓഫ് കോത്താരി കമ്മീഷൻ 1964. Implement 10+2+3 pattern of education. Start vocational education at secondary level. Focus on value education. Next, 19th question ആണ് comparison of the obligatory and discretionary functions of state. First one, obligatory function. Functions which have to be implemented by the state at all time at any cost are said to be obligatory functions. State cannot abstain from its obligatory functions. The life of property of the people cannot be protected if the obligatory functions are not performed. Protection of boundary, maintain internal peace, protection of rights, implementation of justice and the main obligatory functions of the state. Then discretionary functions. Discretionary functions are those which have to be implemented as per the economic conditions of the state. Implementation of functions like education, healthcare, etc. will provide better living conditions for the people. The state which implements such progressive measures is called a welfare state. It is not possible to set a limit to the discretionary powers of a state. The growth of technology and the increase in human wants are making this area vast. And മറ്റൊരു ചോയ്സ് കൂടി ഉണ്ട്. ഇമ്പോർട്ടൻസ് ഓഫ് റൈറ്റ് ടു ഇൻഫർമേഷൻ. We can collect information from any government office about its working. People got this opportunity under the Right to Information Act 2005. The efforts of Mazdoor Kisan Shakti Sanghadhan of Rajasthan led to the legislation of Right to Information Act. This ensures the right of all citizens of India to receive information. The main objectives of this act are to prevent corruption, create responsibility and make the functioning of the government transparent. The citizens will get copies of public documents if they apply for them. 20th question. Major goals of microfinance. Helps in collective development by mobilizing money from individuals. Helps in increasing the standard of living of the people. Encourages saving habits. Make use of the individual potential for group development. Provides loan to member in needs. Starts small scale enterprises. മറ്റൊരു ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ കൂടി അതിൻ്റെ ചോയ്സ് ആയിട്ട് കൊടുത്തിട്ടുണ്ട്. ഹൗ ഹെൽത്തി പേഴ്സൺസ് ക്യാൻ പാർട്ടിസിപ്പേറ്റ് ഇൻ ദി പ്രോഗ്രസ് ഓഫ് എ കൺട്രി. പ്രൊഡക്ഷൻ ഇൻക്രീസസ് വിത്ത് ദി ഇൻക്രീസ് ഇൻ efficiency and the number of working days. Natural resources can be utilized properly. Medical expenses can be reduced, thereby reducing the government's expenditure. Economic development is possible through increase in production. 21st question. Importance of population as an essential factor of the states. Yes, population is an indispensable factor of the formation of the states. For the existence of a state, the people should live unitedly with a mutual understanding, interdependence and common public interest. There is no state without people. However, the minimum and the maximum number of people for a country are not fixed. Population which is too much or too less is not good for a state. These two aspects will adversely affect the development of a state. And your choice നമുക്ക് കാണാം. Indian civil service in two categories. The Indian civil service is made up of all the offices of the central government and the state government and various public sector enterprises. The Indian civil service can be divided into three. First one, all India services. Recruits at national level, appoints in central or state services. Example, Indian administrative service, Indian police service. Central services. Recruits at a national level, appoints in central government departments only. Example, Indian Foreign Service, Indian Railway Service. Third one, state service. Recruits at state level, appoints in state government departments only. Example, sales tax officer. 22nd question. Aerial remote sensing and satellite remote sensing comparison. Aerial remote sensing. Aerial remote sensing is a continuous process of taking pictures from the sky with the help of a camera mounted on balloons or aeroplanes. Aerial remote sensing is generally used to gather information about comparatively smaller areas. The advantage of aerial remote sensing is that information of any region can be gathered in accordance without our requirements. Another merit of this method is that contiguous pictures of the areas along the path of the aircrafts are made available. The photographs obtained through this method are called aerial photographs. In satellite remote sensing, the process of collecting information using sensors fixed on artificial satellite is called satellite remote sensing. The artificial satellites are mainly divided into two types: geostationary satellites, sun synchronous satellites. നെക്സ്റ്റ് അതിലൊരു ചോയ്സ് കൂടി കൊടുത്തതിൽ ആൻസർ കൊടുക്കാം. ഫസ്റ്റ് ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ കൾച്ചറൽ ഫാക്ടേഴ്സ്: ഫോർട്ട്, വെൽ, ടെമ്പിൾ, സെറ്റിൽമെൻറ്റ്സ്, ഗ്രേവ്. സെക്കൻഡ് സെറ്റിൽമെൻറ്റ് 8534, ഫോർട്ട് 8134. Then 23, question number 23. Main services provided by non-banking finance companies: provide loan for hire purchases, provide loan for construction of house, provide gold loan, provide loan on the basis of fixed deposits, running chitti. Kerala State Financial Enterprises (KSFE) is the major non-banking financial company operating in Kerala. അതിൽ മറ്റൊരു ചോയ്സ് കൂടി കൊടുത്തിട്ടുണ്ട്. How birth rate, death rate and migration affect the population of a country? Birth rate increases, death rate decreases, population increases. Birth rate decreases, death rate increases, population declines. Birth rate and death rates are equal, no change in population. Migration: population increases in one region but decreases in another region. 24th question. Apparent movement of the sun. First one, Uttarayanam. Northward apparent movement of the sun from Tropic of Capricorn to Tropic of Cancer is termed as Uttarayanam. The period is 22nd December to June 21st. The duration of a day in the northern hemisphere gradually increases during this period. Next is Dashinayanam. Southward apparent movement of the sun from Tropic of Cancer to Tropic of Capricorn is termed as Dashinayanam. The period is 21st June to 22nd December. The duration of a day in the southern hemisphere gradually increases during this period. മറ്റൊരു ചോയ്സ് കൊടുത്ത് കാണാം. ഫോർമേഷൻ ഓഫ് ഇക്വിറ്റോറിയൽ ലോ പ്രഷർ ബെൽറ്റ്. The area where the sun rays are perpendicular throughout the year. The air expands due to the sun's heat and rise up on a massive scale in this area. This is the reason for the low pressure experienced throughout this zone. Formation of subtropical high pressure belt 30 degree north and 30 degree south. This pressure belt is located at 30 degree latitude in both hemispheres. The warm air rising from the equatorial low pressure belt, that is 0 degree, gradually cools and drops to 30 degree latitude under the influence of the Earth's rotation, and there it becomes high pressure belt. Then planetary wind blows between equatorial low pressure belt and subtropical high pressure belt is trade winds. Next, 25th question. February Revolution. Analyze the circumstances that led to form a provisional government in Russia. Workers' organizations called the Soviets were formed all over Russia to conduct strikes. When the strikes gained massive strength, the emperor was compelled to form a legislative assembly called Duma. Ignoring the Marxism protest from Duma, Nicholas II, the then Tsar, decided to participate in the First World War. A lot of Russian soldiers were killed in this war. Food shortage became severe by 1917. Thousands of women marched along the street of Petrograd on 8th March 1917, clamoring for bread. The workers organized protest march in Petrograd. Though the soldiers clashed with the demonstrators in the beginning, later they joined with the workers. It was the tragic experience during the First World War that introduced them to do so. These workers captured Petrograd and Nicholas II was thrown out of power. A provisional government was formed under Alexander Kerensky, the Menshevik leader. This revolution that took place in March came to be known as February Revolution. Next, October Revolution. Discuss the role of the October Revolution in establishing the proletariat government in Russia. A group of soldiers did not approve of the provisional government. Vladimir Lenin, who had been in Switzerland, came to Russia and strongly opposed the provisional government. Lenin argued that the entire power should be transferred to the Soviet if they were to realize the aims of the revolution. The Bolsheviks and the Soviets supported him. They propagated that only proletarians or workers' government could eradicate centuries old economic backwardness and inequality. In October 1917, the Bolshevik organized an armed rebellion against the provisional government. Kerensky fled from the country and Russia came under the control of Bolsheviks. This event through which the Bolshevik attained power is known as the October Revolution as per Russia calendar. ഇത്രയും ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ്റെ ആൻസേഴ്സാണ് ഇപ്പോൾ കൊടുത്തിട്ടുള്ളത്. മോഡൽ എക്സാമിൻ്റെ മുഴുവൻ ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ്റെയും ആൻസർ നന്നായിട്ട് പഠിക്കുകയാണെങ്കിൽ വലിയൊരു ശതമാനം വരെ സാധ്യതയുള്ള ക്വസ്റ്റ്യനാണ്. നന്നായിട്ട് പഠിക്കുക. ഓൾ ദി ബെസ്റ്റ്.